Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So first things first, just know that there are timestamps down below. So if you do want to skip to certain parts and you guys want to just hear about what happened with Messi, what happened with Nico Williams, it's all going to be organized on the timeline down below. So let's get straight into this. We're going to be talking about Pablo Torre and him moving to Mallorca, what's currently going on with Nico Williams, because apparently there has been all this heat. I thought the club are like very frustrated with all of this going on. The fans are really butthurt, more butthurt than the Espanyol fans. And then lastly, we'll talk about Lionel Messi leaving Inter Miami potentially. Maybe. All right, so let's talk about that. Starting with Pablo Torre, he is going to be going to Mallorca. The fee and structure is becoming very close, right? Barcelona and Mallorca are closing in on a 4 to 6 million euro permanent transfer that lets Mallorca buy 50% of Pablo's rights and Barcelona keep the other 50% in case there is a future sale. So for example, if Pablo Torre does very well with Mallorca and there's teams out there like maybe in Italy, maybe in England that do want to have Pablo Torre and they want to sign him for, let's just say 15 to 20 million euros, Barcelona would receive 50% of that transfer fee, which is an amazing deal. This is not the first time Barcelona have done this. Barcelona have done this with Abde, they have done this with Todibo, they have done this with many players over the past 3 to 4 years. And whatever deal they are closing right now, even if it's closed right now at the time that I'm recording this video, they're not going to be announcing this until after June 30th. So the income does land on the new fiscal year, which will help the 2025-2026 books instead of the 2024-2025. And the reason why Pablo Torre is leaving FC Barcelona is because Mallorca is going to guarantee him minutes that he does want. And under a 4-2-3-1 system under Javier, who is the coach of Mallorca, he will give Pablo Torre exactly that, giving him the number 10 position. And it is going to be a project Mallorca is going to be building for the next 4 years, because this is a 4 to 5 year deal. So this sale, I would say it does generate a small fee. I don't think that it's going to be like the most and biggest sale that Barcelona will be doing in the summer, but it is going to be helping us in terms of reducing our wage bill. And it does unlock a 50% future profit if he does end up exploding, which will help Barcelona in future transfer windows. So speaking about transfers, right? So let's talk about the to-do list and what's going to go on for the rest of this week, because today it is Monday and there are things that will be happening between Monday all the way until Saturday this week up until July 5th. So point number one, they're going to be closing the Pablo Torre deal. They're going to finalize the Ansu Fati operation to Monaco. It's going to be a loan deal and Monaco are going to be having that option to buy Ansu Fati if he ends up doing decent for 11 to 20 million euros. Most importantly, like I've said, I know that these fees are very small, but most importantly, Barcelona are going to be reducing the wages even more and by around 8 to 8.5 million euros gross, which is a huge deal. And that is how Barcelona will be signing off the 2024-2025 accounts before La Liga audits. Right after that, Barcelona will trigger, most likely by Thursday or Friday of this week, they will trigger the Nico Williams clause and present him to Hansi Flick, and everything is going to be official and we're all going to be jumping around in our living rooms or in our rooms. We're going to be happy. Like I've said, this saga of Nico Williams, it has been pretty intense because the Athletic Club fans and the club, they do seem a little butthurt. As a matter of fact, they are butthurt and they're already saying that, you know, Nico Williams, we don't need you, get out of here, we're still going to represent our club, etc, etc. We're like, whatever, bro. Like, I don't know why you guys are handling this like if you guys were little girls. It doesn't make any sense. This is what all clubs do. We buy players, nothing more. Now, part of Barcelona's plan is to have Nico Williams at the training sessions by July 13th, and he wants to be there with the rest of the players. Flick is also stating that, you know, if we sign Nico Williams, and he has told Nico personally that he wants him in 2 weeks. He wants him to be with Yamal, Gavi, Araujo to really understand what is the atmosphere, what do they want to do, how are we going to prepare for the preseason, and most importantly, the season. And the reason why Barcelona also want to get this deal done as soon as possible is because they don't want Nico Williams to go and train with Athletic Club for the preseason. They don't want to do that. They want Nico to be theirs very early and to not waste any time. So what does Barcelona have to do right now to re-enter the 1-1 rule in order for us to do well going from July all the way until August and sign the players that we do want after Nico Williams? Barcelona right now are 8 million euros short to reach the 1-1 rule, meaning that they have to generate 8 million euros. The Pablo Torre fee and Ansu Fati's salary relief is going to help on those 8 million euros. Most importantly, another thing that Barcelona will be doing is to extend Frenkie de Jong for more years and lower the wages, which is ultimately going to lead to Barcelona heading to the 1-1 rule. And that is going to be something that Barcelona will get done as soon as possible. So whatever does happen in regards to Nico Williams, who Barcelona let go, whose contracts they do extend, we're going to be talking about it here in this YouTube channel. So let's move on towards the next conversation and let's talk about Lionel Messi, because with Messi, I know a lot of people are going to be questioning, why are we talking about Messi? What happened with him? I thought that we're moving on away from Messi because we have Lamine Yamal, we have Nico, and like what's going on here? Well, here's the thing. Messi has a huge goal next year in the summer, and that is to win the World Cup in 2026. Yes, Messi wants to go for a second World Cup. Messi believes that he is physically not finished. Like, he is good. Like, he wants to keep keep going. But in order for Messi, and he knows this himself, right? In order for Messi to compete at the highest level in the World Cup, because remember, that World Cup in 2022 was such a high level. Like, the amount of intensities and tensions we had to go through in that tournament was immense. And the fact that Messi has to yet again do that at the age of 39 years old is not going to be easy. And the best way to prepare for that is by leaving the MLS and to go to a team in Europe to physically prepare himself for the high level moments in the World Cup. He wants to regain elite level rhythm. And here's the thing, Messi's contract with Inter Miami does end on December 2025, so in about 4 to 5 months from right now. And Messi's plan is, okay, well, this is at least according to ESPN, Messi's plan would be to leave Inter Miami in December, go to a team in Europe in January and train with them, play with them all the way up until the summer and go into the World Cup of 2026 gracefully. But with Inter Miami, they have made a very public stance. What they're saying is all parties want to find an agreement to extend Messi for more years. Inter Miami want to continue with Messi, but according to these reports, it seems like Messi might have other plans. Now, many might question, but Kevin, you don't think that's a little harsh to say that, you know, at the MLS, it's lower level, and for Messi to like leave Inter Miami only because he wants to win the World Cup with Argentina or the second World Cup with Argentina? Don't you think that's a little shady? Like, could the players really be that bad? Well, if you guys go look at how Inter Miami performed against PSG, it was not the best. Like, the amount of touches Messi had in that game was like, what, 41 or 38 touches in the game against PSG? For context, in the match against Porto, he had like 78 touches, but in the match against PSG, nothing. Meaning that he has no service at Inter Miami when they face an elite team. And it just goes to show that the level overall in the MLS is not good, because for Inter Miami to show up like that against PSG and knowing that Inter Miami are like in the top 5, top 6 in the MLS, overall, the MLS is not going to provide the level that Messi is looking for. I believe that what Messi is looking for is to constantly get tested by teams like PSG, like Bayern, like FC Barcelona, like Manchester City, or Atletico Madrid. Ibrahimovic also had a very viral critique by stating, Messi is playing with statues, not teammates. Put him in a real team and he'll set the stadium on fire. It's a jab that Zlatan had, right? Zlatan is saying, like, don't blame Messi, because if you're going to be having the other players around Messi not working hard, not understanding what they need to do, of course you're not going to get the best out of Messi. And Messi cannot continue like this for another 6 months after December 2025 and then just go into the World Cup expecting to perform at a high level. So let me ask you guys this question, since we are talking about this. If Messi were to leave Inter Miami and all of this is true and Inter Miami cannot find a renewal deal with Messi, where would you like to see Messi go? And I'm talking about in Europe. We're not talking about Messi going to a different team in the MLS or in the Brazilian league or in the Argentinian league. We're talking about in Europe. Where would you like to see Messi go? I have one preference, and I know that this is going to surprise you guys, but I'm going to say here, I would honestly be okay with Messi going back to PSG. I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds like, oh my God, Kevin, you are such a traitor or whatever. But here's the thing. Messi already knows how to play at PSG, right? I know that it seems a little weird for me to say that he's looking for a higher level league, and the French league is not that high of a level, but at the same time, you know, he won the World Cup while playing for PSG. But overall, he has played with PSG before. Those relationships are there. I think that Messi has a new level of respect for PSG because of who they are now. But most importantly, which is going to be point number 2, if Messi truly wants to get physically ready and he wants to play at top level and he wants to get the best out of himself, the one coach that can do that, and I know you guys know where I'm going to go with this, but the one coach that knows how to get the best out of Messi, it is Luis Enrique. It is a reunion between Luis and Messi. I think that would be the perfect fit, because this is a different PSG, a PSG that presses, that attacks, that plays actual football. I can see Messi saying, I don't mind playing at PSG under Luis Enrique, and I train under him one more time. And so of course there is going to be other options. Maybe he might go to Man City like what he wanted back in 2020. Maybe, right? Maybe, just maybe, he might come to FC Barcelona, but that's a whole other different conversation. I'm gonna last like another 20 minutes in this video and I don't want to do that. But yeah, maybe I would say there's a 2 or 3% possibility that Messi might make a return to Barcelona in January. But for now, to be the most realistic and where I believe he would like really fit at, it would be at PSG under Luis Enrique. Only if he is the coach of PSG, I can see Messi going there. But like I've said, let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.